So today I wanted to get on here and just talk with you about the physical symptoms of psychiatric drug withdrawal, because there can be quite a few symptoms and they can sometimes feel worse than the mental ones. It depends for people. It really varies. Sometimes the physical ones are really bad. Sometimes the mental ones are really bad. But today I just wanted to cover physical symptoms and discuss, what kinds of things helped me cope and like heal from those, and other people I know as well. So I'm Joanna and I'm trained as a therapist, but I'm offering coaching specifically for getting off of meds. So let's talk today about the physical symptoms in withdrawal. They can be pretty awful, and it really varies, how intense they are. But I just wanted to cover some of them, especially like the chills, sweats, aches, flu-like stuff, just to talk about how that can be affecting you and then what things might be able to help. So I'm Joanna. I went through a pretty awful withdrawal myself, getting off of psych meds after 10 years. And yeah, now I'm healed and I'm doing really well. And so I'm in this space just to pay it forward and offer hope and support for people who are also on that journey of becoming med-free. If you want to meet with me, just check out the link in the description of the video, and I'd love to have a time to meet with you. You can see my calendar on my website. So about the physical symptoms, I had quite a few. I made like a list here. I'll read it to you. I remember I had trembling, shaking, chills, hot flashes, sweats. I had the loss of taste. I actually couldn't taste food for a while. It was only like a texture and it had completely no flavor. It was really bizarre. So loss of appetite. I had digestion issues. Terrible. I don't even know if any food helped me. For a while, it was just like everything just seemed to not stay in me at all. Flu-like aches and pains, weight loss, hair loss. I had the feeling of bugs crawling on my skin quite a bit. And in my hair, I had the feeling of bugs sometimes. I felt really unsteady and slower. And then I had a lot of fatigue, and that was pretty powerful fatigue. It was hard to do much. So yeah, those are some of the physical symptoms I had. And then some people I know have had other ones. Body aches. I hear a lot about body aches and nerve pain. And I know there's others too. You might be experiencing others, but it's a whole body nervous system damage is kind of like, or injury would be a better term for it. And so that's why the whole body has a response, and why we experience physical and mental symptoms when you're going off of your psych meds. Your whole body is having to figure out how to rewire and how to be organized and communicate and produce. And it's all like a very amazing system. And so once you take out whatever the med was doing to keep the system running, the whole system of your body is affected. So your sleep and your digestion and your breathing, like you can feel like so much, your hormonal systems are affected, and your body has to find its way back to healing and back to homeostasis. So that's why we have the physical symptoms, is it's our body fighting for that normal again, figuring out like, how do we do this and how do we regulate? And so during that time, it can be really turbulent, both mentally and physically, but you will heal, and it just takes time. So what I did for the physical symptoms was I just had to accept that I had them, kind of like when you get the flu, or when you get a virus, or if you've ever like experienced breaking a limb, any kind of like time period of just, okay, this is affecting me and I can't do as much. So there's that acceptance part. First is the acceptance part, like this is affecting me, and so then it's changing the way my day and my life looks right now. So first is the acceptance that it's different and just letting it be what it is. That's actually going to help you. If you're fighting it and like, you know, refusing to acknowledge or accept it, that's, you know, that's going to make it harder on your body. So just accepting that you have right now have this injury is going to help you. And then what I did was I wanted to be able to continue life as normal, like, because we had plans and, you know, life goals and responsibilities and everything. So there's like a point at which you try as much as you can to continue life as normal, but then you pull back a little bit in order to allow time for the healing. So for instance, like maybe you've been working full time and right now that's really hard to keep up with in withdrawal. So you go down to part-time, but you still work as much as you can. That's just like one example. Some people like can't work at all, but some people can work through withdrawal. So it really depends. And you just have to make that judgment call about like what you can do and then what you need to just accept the changes over and rest and let your body recover. So for instance, I would want to keep up with my kids and with like doing normal life routine stuff. But I remember in the very early days of withdrawal, if I went out of the house and like did activities, I was just having so many symptoms. It was just really felt insane. But I realized that the more I did at first, the more symptoms I would have. So then I would be like bedridden the next day. And so for a time, like I remember there was a whole summer that I hardly went anywhere because every time I did go somewhere, I had so many more symptoms. And so I just had to accept, all right, like bringing the kids to the beach and going out with them and like doing meetups and, you know, going to kid activities right now is just too far of a reach, but I could be at home and like read books out loud. Now I like I didn't even always know what I was reading out loud because my thoughts were looping so bad, but I could at least read aloud to them and like kind of fake it. So anyway, you kind of just figure out what can I do and then just keep doing that because that's going to help you stay in a trajectory of healing. It's going to help you stay in touch with reality. It's going to help distract you from negative thinking. It's going to help rebuild your brain back to functioning and thinking clearly and everything. So it might not be that way right now, but doing normal life activities will help rehab you. So just do what you can, even if it's less. And then with the extra time that you have, like the time that you can't do the normal activities, try to do as much positive input into your life. So exposing yourself to positive and encouraging messages. So yeah, so there was that time for me that I couldn't get out very much, and that was really rough. But then once I could, I added that into my life. So for a while I wasn't working and I wasn't really taking care of the kids or doing much because I was just so incapacitated. But then I was like, okay, what can I do? I was able to do some things at home that were kind of normal. And so I just kept up with those things, even if I did them really slow, you know, like, you know, doing the dishes, reading out loud to the kids, things like that. And then I'd try, you know, give it some time, and then I'd try to do the normal things that I'd had to give up. I'd try it again and see how it went. And if I really ramped up in symptoms, it would be like, all right, not quite time. But if I kind of stayed the same, then I would keep it as a new part of my normal. So like basically reintroducing more life into your every day, you know, more normal life things. You basically kind of like reintroduce it and see how it goes. And so I had to like reintroduce grocery shopping and be like, okay, I can do this, and really like pump myself up to go out and go grocery shopping and like talk myself up and really encourage myself, or like even you can have someone in your life encouraging you, like, all right, I'm going to go to the bank and I'm going to do the thing. And then, can you encourage me? And then, you just celebrate every small win you possibly can, because that's you getting your life back. So then once I could do, okay, grocery store can be part of my life again, then you keep that in your repertoire. And what happens is it's sort of like, and I learned this from Angie Peacock. She coached me, and that was just really, really helpful for like this healing mindset. But she said, like, you have your symptoms that at first are taking up so much of your life on the one side, and that goes down. And then on the other side, you have normal life. On the other side, that's going to increase. So you kind of have this overlap of both of those things for a while, where you have like symptoms and adding normal life. And so there's like an overlap of like, I'm doing things, but I'm still kind of having looping thoughts and I have a little bit of symptoms. But you continue, as long as it's not like really setting you way back, you can continue like gradually adding on normal life. And that health and that ability to live and do and interact and have normal conversations and do normal activities and work and all of that, like gradually, it's sort of like a rehabbing of your life. It gradually increases until soon you're more and more out of the woods and you're looking back and you're like, oh yeah, I used to have a lot of symptoms. Now I just have a few, so it's just, you gradually get your life back and rebuild back. And sometimes those physical symptoms are really going to be your clues about how you're doing, and can help you gauge where you're at. Like, wow, I really, really had a lot more symptoms after that one event. I think maybe it's not time for me to be, going out to parties or whatever it is that you tried. So it's kind of like give and take. You try something, you see how it went, and then you try again later, and you gradually add on and on until you have more and more of your life back. And the symptoms become less intense, they become fewer and further between, and you gradually just gain more and more joy, freedom, and normalcy to your everyday life and activities. And so that's my encouragement for you, is that on the other side of this is a lot of good, and normal life is like such a gift and so sweet. And so, just joy. I think joy is something that surprises me a lot about being on the other side, is just, there's so much joy about the ordinary things of life that are just an amazing gift to be a part of. And so keep going, my friends. You'll get through this, and there's so much good on the other side. And that's just what I had to share today for healing through physical symptoms and getting that healing mindset. So let me know if you want to meet with me, and we'll talk to you soon.